One thing is consistent. No matter how shitty a Jurassic Park movie is, the theme is always fucking amazing. Jurassic World. Now, Jurassic World is the newest chapter to the Jurassic Park franchise. And again, the movie was not directed by Steven Spielberg. It was directed by Colin Trevorrow. The film stars Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt. This movie tells the story of a new theme park called Jurassic World. This time it's fully functional. It's this huge thing. It's sort of like SeaWorld. They have a bunch of attractions with dinosaurs. They have like this underwater thing. They even have a petting zoo for little kids. They've got safaris, and it's really, really doing well. And you're like, yeah, that's John Hammond's vision. Huh, amazing. But since the company always has to focus on revenues and every new attraction brought in more profits, they come up with the idea to genetically create this so-called Indominus. And yeah, that thing, that's bad news. Of course it breaks free and Chris Pratt has to stop it. That's the plot of the movie. Now going into this film, I was very skeptical. On the one hand, I was looking forward to just seeing a park again. But on the other hand, the fact that they create a sort of Frankenstein thing, and in the trailer it looked like Chris Pratt can actually control raptors, that was weird to me. But I gotta tell you, it might just be the best Jurassic Park sequel we've ever had so far. So let's talk a little bit about the likes and dislikes. First of all, we gotta talk about the cast. Bryce Dallas Howard was fantastic in the movie. She really dominated every scene she was in. Yes, she was very stiff in the beginning and sterile, but she also had a lot of heart, and she was a strong female lead character. I could argue that she is actually the main character, and Chris Pratt is the supporting character. Chris Pratt, again, was amazing in the movie. I was also skeptical going into this movie because I thought he was going to be Star-Lord all over again. Not that I don't love Star-Lord. I love me some Guardians of the Galaxy, but this is a different beast than Guardians of the Galaxy. Luckily, he delivered. He was absolutely fantastic. On numerous occasions, I was like, yeah, he's a little bit like Indiana Jones, and I like it. He does have comedic elements, but they don't go overboard with it. But there were also some supporting characters that I was not a fan of. While I did enjoy the children, they're like two children, and it's cool seeing the sensation that Jurassic World is out of their eyes. Some of their acting, especially the older brother, was a bit sterile and was a bit emotionless. But yeah, the character I hated the most in the film was Kingpin from Daredevil. Yeah, I know he's got a name and I know he was in Full Metal Jacket, but I'm gonna call him Kingpin. He plays this army dude who wants to weaponize raptors, and he is... No. I didn't like him. He was so cliche, generic, 101 bullshit. Everything that guy ever said was essentially, let's weaponize dinosaurs. No, that's not a good idea. Okay, I'll hear you. We should totally weaponize them. No, don't do that. It's stupid. So you're saying we should, weaponize those dinosaurs? No, for fuck's sake, leave us alone. Okay, I think I know what you're talking about. And the answer is simple. We weaponize dinosaurs. And now let's talk about the two biggest controversies of the movie. First of all, the Indominus Rex. Yep, the fact that there is a predator, like in the movie Predator, creature going around killing for sports, being an actual monster, that is sort of off-putting because Jurassic Park never was a straight-up monster movie. It was a movie that featured animals acting like animals, but this thing is clearly a monster. On the other hand, I am really glad, and I really have to give the movie credit for that, I'm really glad that the movie is very self-aware. It addresses the problem and the controversies. For example, Bryce Dallas Howard's character, she gives this entire monologue about how these days the audience is no longer in awe when seeing a normal dinosaur. It's just like seeing another elephant at some random zoo. And that the audience always expects something new, something crazy, whether or not it's a great idea. And that was really cool. That was like breaking the fourth wall and talking to the audience sitting in the movie theaters. It's like, yeah, this is what you want. Whether it's good or not, or a good idea, doesn't matter. you will not be impressed by normal dinosaurs anymore. So it's sort of like your fault. Kind of reminded me of Cabin in the Woods. If you've seen Cabin in the Woods, you know what I mean. I also like the fact there was this one guy, even though he was a bit generic, he worked in like the main control room, and he had an old school Jurassic Park t-shirt, and he even said, man, can you just picture those times where creating dinosaurs in a theme park was all we needed to do? And I was like, yeah. So this movie was clearly also talking to me, which I like. It didn't alienate the old fans. And this movie has a lot of cool throwbacks, cool shout-outs to the original. This movie has probably the most references to the first one. Some are subtle, some are in your face. As a hardcore fan of the original Jurassic Park, of course, I loved every single one of these. The theme is absolutely fantastic again. Just hearing it and seeing the park, that's another thing. This movie brought back the sensation. The first half of the movie I actually enjoyed most. I loved the entire concept of this is what John Hammond's vision would look like. And that was brilliant. That in combination with the facial expressions, all like... That almost made me choke up. I'm not kidding. However, during the second half of the film, the movie goes overboard a little bit. That entire Indominus creature thing, they try to hunt it down, and they actually want to use raptors to find that thing. And then you have a bunch of scenes where animals don't act like animals anymore. They have actual conversations with one another. It seemed a bit stupid and dull. At some point, it went so overboard that I was like, okay, now the magic of the movie is officially gone. The characters act in ways that none of our main characters in the first one would. How do you stop a huge dinosaur? Well, normally you just get airstrikes, a tank or whatever and kill that thing. No, they think it's a great idea. Well, let's open a bunch of cages and free other really dangerous creatures and hope for the best. While being very nostalgic, especially with one particular scene that I do not want to spoil, there was just one scene that brought back the true Jurassic Park feel of the first one. The movie has another big issue. That is sadly again the overuse and over-reliance on CGI. By now, our eyes are used to CGI. We know when we see something real. So when people are hiding behind cars and this CGI Super Frankensteinosaurus looks around the corner, it's not as intense as it was in the first one with the T-Rex. Bring back the animatronics, they look better. I swear to God, they do look better. So all in all, I gotta say this movie was a fun summertime popcorn flick. I almost believe like this is the best sequel we got and probably as good as it gets. There were parts that I absolutely loved about the movie, like all the nostalgia, all the theme park sensation. But there were also things that I absolutely hated, like the issues that I addressed before. For every scene that I loved, there was a scene that I hated. I left the movie theater and I thought, yeah, it was a good popcorn flick, but as far as Jurassic Park goes, it still was a bit disappointing. So in conclusion, I gotta say that Jurassic World gets the bronze medal. It is a fun time, it is an okay movie. It is probably one of the most entertaining features right now out in the theater, but it just failed in capturing the essence what Jurassic Park actually is. But the elements that it did get right with aces. And for a really short period of time, you were like, oh, this is why I love Jurassic Park. And the fact that the movie was able to create that feeling again makes me somewhat enjoy it. So yeah, there you go. And just remember, this is all my opinion. If you love this movie, it's totally cool. I just think it wasn't that great. But it wasn't a bad movie either. Thank you guys, as always, for watching. And if you like what you see here and you want to see more, then just subscribe. I had to do it again.